welcome into another episode of Southern Section. This week, I'm Claudette Montana.
And I'm Connor Morissette. We're here at Culver City High School, where earlier on we had the chance to speak with two members of the football program. Before that, my colleague at SBLive, Mitch joined the show to preview the big high school football game in the Southern Section this week, St. John Bosco against Mater Dei. And like we do every week, we have our match of the week highlights in boys water polo. PALOS VERDES took down Culver City.
Truly a jam-packed show. Can't wait to kick things off. But first, here's some Week 6 high school football highlights, courtesy of our friends over at BALLY Sports.
Higgs in motion. Jahmal lets him get wide. He's going to throw this one up the seam. It's caught. Little corner route. Bounces off a potential tackle. That's number 13 for Warren. And that's a touchdown for the Bears.
So Curry, 1st and 10. And there's the third running back, and he is into the open field, into the end zone for the touchdown. Xavier Jones, 1 carry, 1 touchdown.
Behind the sticks again, a 2nd down and 19. Contreras plenty of time. Puts it up looking for Butler in double coverage. That's going to get picked by Green. Isaiah Green coming away with his 2nd interception of the season. We were just talking about already has his hands full, as every coordinator has this year with Jahmal and the Bears. One-on-one, taking a shot downfield. That ball is caught again by number 11 for Warren. That's another touchdown for the Bears. And we're underway here in Downey. This will be returnable. Coming up the left side, that's Jeremiah Ingram. He's got the edge. You're not going to catch him. Opening kickoff to the crib. For Warren, that's Jeremiah Ingram.
High school sports are one of the things that make living in California so great.
But sometimes the behavior in the stands can overshadow our achievements on the field.
I love it when my parents show up for me.
But being booed for missing a play could be crushing.
And remember that refs are people too.
They're trying their best to call a fair and correct game.
Hey, and enough with all the swearing.
No one should feel insulted or ashamed
because of their race, ethnicity, or gender.
We should be able to hold our heads high after the match, win or lose.
All right, last week, Connor had the pleasure of covering Bishop Amont's double overtime win over Sierra Canyon. And in case you missed the game, don't worry, here's some highlights.
Welcome to another Ask the Expert segment. Mitch Stevens from SBLive, my colleague, is the guest this week. Mitch, you're the expert, and what better week to have you on than Mater Dei hosting St. John Bosco? You've been to quite a few of these games. I'm sure you're very excited like I am for Friday night. I want to preview the big matchup with you. But first, how are you doing today? How's everything going with you?
Oh, good. I couldn't be more excited. It's Super Bowl Super Bowl week for us in the middle of the start of October. So yeah, I couldn't be better. Thanks, man.
So let's just start with a look back. What are some of your favorite memories from this rivalry game, whether it's been in the regular season or a championship? Take me back to some of your favorite times covering this game.
Well, this game, you know, I'm in Northern California, so normally I see these teams at the end of the road. So I've seen them a lot playing for state championships up here, usually playing De La Salle and last year Sarah. But I've seen several of them head to head, and it's really like no other. I came up with three things that really kind of stick out. I was just thinking of memory bigs. First, the two coaches. I just think they're they're just high energy. Bruce Rollinson and Jason Negro, their unique personality. They're just spirited and heated and personable and interesting to talk to. And, you know, certainly in the early going, there was a ton of mutual respect. I'm sure there still is. I'm not down there enough, but, you know, when you get playing every year, I don't know how that affects, but I love watching those two guys and talking to them. So that's one thing. The second thing is just, you know, I know a lot of it was made that this game should have been played at SoFi. And I would have loved to see the game there. But I love watching these two venues that they play at. They're two of my favorites because they're absolutely packed. The energy, you know, beyond the energy of 70 Division I players going at each other, the crowd. And so this week, you know, it's at Santa Ana Stadium and Punish Stadium. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. At Bosco, you're just right on top of the field, and it's that feeling is electric. So I'm looking forward to that. But I think my most vivid memory of just thinking about that was the 2019 game and a Hail Mary pass at the end of the game. If you just think of that, the ball's just in the air, and I just remember the end zone. There's 8 or 10 Division I guys, you know, highly skilled, thrown from Bryce Young, the future Heisman Trophy winner, and they're all going up for this one pass. And Hudson came down with it for an interception to preserve this amazing win. And it just kind of reflected just how close these teams are and so on. And that happened to be also, and to underscore it, the two quarterbacks of that game. I think also epitomize this rivalry. DJ and Bryce Young, they each threw for over 400 yards. They did everything possible. And what I liked most about them, they were like friends. Like they were legitimately good friends, and there was mutual respect. And that, you know, I think those are the things that this is all made of. There's so much other stuff that's around this game and so on, but just it's so bitter, and but it seems like there's lots of respect, and it's just with high school sports, it's really at its finest.
That 2019 game was tremendous. The Hudson interception, that last play of the game, I was in the end zone. It happened right in front of me, so I'll never forget my vantage point on that either. Because when that ball's in the air, you're like, oh man, if Mater Dei catches this, they win. And
right,
wow, I thought this was over. Yeah,
right. Well, we thought it was over the other way, right? I mean,
yeah.
Mater Dei was ahead 34-6, or whatever it was, and they scored 34 straight points. I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah, game of the ages. That's certainly the best memory that I have as well. Mater Dei fans will disagree, but what a game that was. Let's get to Friday, Mitch. So you'll be coming down from Northern California. Who's a player or two that you're excited to see in this game?
Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, you know, the quarterback, it's a natural one. But and it's not, you know, DJ versus Bryce, but you know, Elijah Brown, who reminds me of Bryson. I don't know if people make that comparison a lot, but I mean, as far as just his poise and accuracy, and I mean, mainly the poise. And I don't know if he's quite as twitchy as an athlete, but I love that. And Pierce Clarkson, I think, a dual threat who can get out of trouble. So, that's a natural quarterbacks. Everybody wants to see that. The second thing, I want to see these young running backs. Both teams have these young staple of backs. Nathan Frazier and Jordan Davison, those two guys, I want to see if they break out possibly. But I think the thing I'm looking most for is just St. John Bosco's defense. I just want to see that group. I mean, this has a chance, it feels like, to be one of the best defenses ever. I mean, they're that talented, right? I mean, you know better than I, but I am looking forward to seeing how they play up against, Mater Dei always has terrific offensive players, and just see if they can shut them down.
Yeah, it's tough to compare because the Mater Dei defense last year, I thought, was the best defense I've ever seen. But then you remember the crazy Mater Dei JT Daniels led team. That defense was so good. So I have a tough time comparing them, but I definitely think certainly that the St. John Bosco defense this year is comparable to Mater Dei a year ago. And I don't want to say better. They still have a long way to go, but could they be better at the end of the year? Certainly. And this is their first big test of the season. Them playing Kahuku, St. John Bosco, that was a decent test, and we ranked them 25 in the country. So Kahuku is clearly good, but Mater Dei has played Bishop Gorman, who is top 5 in the nation. So they've been a little bit more tested. I'm excited to see this vaunted St. John Bosco defense against a really good offense in Mater Dei. But it is interesting that Mater Dei only put up, it was low scoring, I think 21 a week ago against Jay Sarah. So that's something to watch. Let's get you out of here with this, Mitch, and we'll each give one. What's your score prediction? I have mine. What's yours?
It's always hard to bet against Mater Dei. It's just hard. They're big time, big game players, but I'm going to go with that defense and go and low scoring. I think Bosco wins. I'm just going to throw out 17-14. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Very similar to mine. I like St. John Bosco as well. I agree. I think it's going to be low scoring. I like the Braves 21-17. Okay. I think Mater Dei, they trust their kicker after he kicked the game winner against Bishop Gorman. So maybe they'll get a kick in there, but I see it as 5 total touchdowns, maybe a field goal, but low scoring. I think it's going to be a real field position battle, and the punters might play a big role in this. And I know before the season, Bruce Rollinson was very nervous about his punting situation. So that's something that we'll definitely watch out for.
Yeah, before I made that score prediction, I probably should have looked more up on Bosco's kicker. I don't know how strong he is, but I have him kicking the game winner. So
like most years, that they're good in the kicking game for sure. So I think that's spot on. And hey, we'll see. That's why they play the game.
That's right.
So Mitch, thank you so much. I will see you on Friday. I'm really looking forward to it. Let's throw it now to our boys' water polo match of the week. PALOS VERDES took down Culver City.
Watch that. Owen. Look in.
In life, things aren't scripted.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
You can get a lot out of it. It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
Time for Coach's Corner here at Culver City High School. Coach Wright, head varsity football coach. Coach, how you been? It's been a long time. Good to see you.
It's good to see you too, Connor. It's been awesome. It's football season, so it's always fun.
You guys are off to a 2-4 start, but you have it all ahead of you in the Bay League. How do you overcome last week's tough loss against Miracosta to bounce back and give Redondo Union a fight this week?
Well, league is the most important part of our season. We gave a good fight last week against Miracosta, so we're excited about facing this our homecoming game. So we're excited about facing 6-0 Redondo Union this week.
Yeah, and they've been one of the surprises in California high school football, and you just got to get into that top 3 in the Bay League to make the playoffs. So like I said, you got it all ahead of you. Who are some players who have had a great start to the season for your group who you want to shout out?
You know, we've been blessed to have some young talent this year. We're built with a lot of sophomores and juniors, but our starting tackle, Charlie Butler, has been playing awesome for us this season. Unfortunately, he fractured his ankle Friday night, but he's been leading the way, being a great senior for us. Slot receiver Mateo Torres has been lights out for us. We can always count on him. And we've had some sophomore sensations. Braylon Singleton and Miles Singleton have done a great job playing free safety and a corner for us and a receiver. So we have a lot of players who've held it down for us, but we're excited about these last 4 games. We're going to take them one at a time.
Yeah, only way you can do it. You've won 100 games in your career. I saw last year you won that 100th one. What's been your favorite out of all those games?
You know what? It's if I would have to point out a favorite, it would have to be the CIF championship game. To finally win the championship here at Culver City High School after 40 years. It was awesome to raise up that CIF championship plaque.
Culver City lifer, you played in the 90s. I read you were a 3-time All-Ocean League selection at defensive back. Do your players know about your history and know you were a pretty decent player back in the day?
You know what? I don't try not to bring myself up too much. That was many moons ago. And so I try to keep the focus on them. Sometimes I have to remind them that Coach used to do his thing too.
You went on to play at Kansas. You got the Redondo game Friday. Kansas, for the first time ever, is going to get college game day going to Lawrence. Will you have a chance to fly out there on Saturday?
I wish. It's an exciting time to be a Jayhawk. We can brag about our football program now. I wish I could make it down there for a game, but I'm watching from afar, and Jalen Daniels doing a great job leading the way. Shout out to Southern California. So I'm excited for the Jayhawks and the game we got going on this weekend.
Yeah, Jalen, the pride of Lawndale High School. You guys used to play them, and even had a couple games against Jalen, if I remember correctly.
Absolutely.
Coach, the last thing, you guys this year, like I said, the 2-4 start, but you mentioned taking it one game at a time. What's the key for your group going forward, taking it one game at a time? What do you want to improve on each week?
You know what? We're real close. The most thing we have to improve on is being consistent and putting 4 quarters together. Defense has been keeping us in it. Once we get the offense coming around consistently, I think we can take that next step and get ready to just take them one game at a time.
That's Jahmal Wright. Coach, thanks so much. Claudette, let's throw it over to you now. Had a chance to interview the Culver City quarterback, Sammy Silvia.
All right, joining you now is our student athlete of the week, Sammy Silvia. He's a quarterback here at Culver City High School. First question for you. You have spectacular hair. What's the shampoo routine?
Just every night. I have a nice little just shampoo, conditioner. When I comb through to get all the knots out, that's it.
Are we a Pantene guy?
No, I don't actually know what that is.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear that you shower every single day because you do play football. It's your first season here at Culver City High School. How's the transition been for you?
The transition has been good. I came here the second semester last year, and it's been pretty good getting fit into the program. With our spring football, it's kind of the slow introduction to the offense, and since then I think I've got a really good grasp, and it's just been getting better since then.
One thing being a quarterback is that you really have to embody that role of a leader. How do you feel like you've stepped into that responsibility?
I think I've done pretty well. I think a lot of the guys respect me pretty well now. When I first came here, no one really knew me, right? That's pretty obvious. But I've spent most of my time with these guys here, and they're most of the friends I have here, so over the time we've developed pretty good connections.
Is it true that you have a 3.9 GPA?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Mr. Smart Guy over here. I love it. Here's the soccer ball. You clearly have the student athlete thing down to a science. How do you balance your academics and your athletics?
Well, some days are harder than others, obviously, however much homework I'm given. Some days it's just go to school, go to practice, go home, homework, bed. Sometimes I'll have more time at home to do what I want, but I have to always prioritize homework over the other things.
What's your favorite subject in school?
Math, probably. I started pretty early with the higher level math, so now I'm a junior, and I think AP Calculus. I feel pretty good about that. I like my teachers; they help a lot, and yeah, that helps.
Well, you got your head coach over here. What's your favorite thing about learning under him?
He knows a lot what he's talking about. He's been coaching for a long time, and whenever he says something, I know it's true. Obviously, I don't pick up on it sometimes the first time he tells me, but if he keeps getting on about it, I'll pick it up and understand exactly what he's talking about.
What's the key to beating Redondo Union this week?
We just need to play a clean game. I think we're better than them. We're definitely better than them. But as long as we eliminate most major mistakes, then we should be fine.
Also, you've thrown 11 touchdowns this season, right? 11 touchdowns? Which one has been your favorite?
My favorite? Ooh.
Or do you have a favorite receiver to throw to? Give us some juicy information.
Guys like Miles and Brendan Singleton, the twins, they're doing great right now. And also Mateo Torres, he's a junior. Mateo was like one of the first guys I knew coming into school, and he's really helped me. We've developed a really good connection. And yeah, he's just been really helpful having him out there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, and best of luck this week.
Thank you.
All right, that'll do it for this episode of Southern Section this week here at Culver City High School. Really enjoyed our conversations today with coach and quarterback Sammy Silvia.
So did I, Claudette. Jahmal Wright, always a class act. Love being at Culver City. That's it for this week's episode. We'll see you next time.